Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Today I want to give you a little tutorial how to make these cute little tea bag holders. They make a perfect gift. You can fit your tea bags inside like so, do them up, pop them in your handbag and away you go. Now I did a written tutorial for this on the Sewing Directory website about 3 or 4 years ago now, and I will link it down in the description because that's where you'll find all the written instructions, all of the sizes and all of the photographic pictures that you can follow step by step along the way. But if you like sewing along with me on a video, then I thought it was about time I did a video tutorial too. So enjoy!
You're going to need 2 rectangles of your outer fabric, 2 rectangles of lining, a rectangle of iron-on interfacing, a hair bobble and a button. All of the dimensions of the rectangles are available in the description. The first thing you're going to do is iron on your fusible interfacing to one of your main outer pieces. Be sure to lay the sticky side down on the wrong side of your fabric and press with nice even motions out towards the edges of your fabric. Once that's pressed, you're going to take your 2 lining panels and press them wrong sides together lengthways. Give them plenty of steam to make sure that you set the creases in place. Once you've pressed, you're going to top stitch along the folded edge. I like to use a length 3 stitch for this, and you're going to top stitch both pieces. Take the first one and measure 1 inch up from the bottom of your inside main. You're going to take the raw edges and place them along that inch marking. You can add some pins to hold it in place, and then you're going to stitch it along the bottom raw edges. You can use 1/4 inch seam allowance for this. There's no need to back tack, it's just going to be securing it in place. Once you've stitched the first one on and removed any pins and snipped off any threads, you can then lay your second piece on top of it. This time you're placing the raw edges along the bottom edge of your main inner panel. Again, pin it in place and you're going to stitch it all along the bottom raw edges. But this time you want to use a 1/8 inch seam allowance so that it isn't seen when you've finished, just like I have here. Then you're going to fold in half, right sides together. Give it a really good finger press along that bottom edge. And when you open it back up, you'll be able to see where you need to stitch. This is going to act like the spine of a book. Now you want to sew from the bottom edge up to the top edge to stop your lining flapping over and getting caught. There's no need to do a back tack at the bottom, but you do want to do a back tack when you reach the top of your lining to secure it in place. You can snip off any threads flush to the fabric, and then it's time to add your hair bobble. You want a thin bobble and you want to fold it so that the join of your bobble, you may have a little metal piece here or a little gluey piece, is kind of hanging over the edge. You're lining it up with the top edge of the bottom pocket. As you can see, I've left a little bit over the edge here. And we're going to base this in place with a 1/8 seam allowance. Now, the easiest way to do this is to pop your elastic band under your machine, lower your presser foot down so that your needle goes through one side of the elastic, and then you can kind of push the other side up really nice and snug with a really sharp pair of scissors. And I then use those scissors to kind of hold the band in place while I then stitch across, and then I will do a little back tack. That's the easiest way to be able to stitch it in place nice and snugly. So remember to base that at 1/8, again, so they don't show when you turn it in the right way later. Next, you're going to take your other main fabric panel, the interfaced one, and you're going to place it right sides together on top of your inner. Take some clips or pins and clip or pin all the way around your rectangle. Now we're going to sew all the way round, but we're going to leave a small opening that's a couple of inches or so at the top edge of our tea bag holder. Once you've done that, you'll see you've managed to sew all the way around, pivoting at the corners. You can then take your scissors and snip off any excess hair bubble that's hanging over the end. And you can also remove the bulk from the corners of your work. This is going to help you get nice pointy points once you turn it all in the right way. It's time to find that little hole, turn it in the right way, and you can use a chopstick to poke out those corners and make sure that they are all nice and pointy. Take it over to your iron and it is time to press. We need to make sure that that top opening is nice and neat with all of our raw edges folded into the inside. Again, give it plenty of steam. Steam is your friend here. It's going to make everything look so much neater and so much more professional. So take your time over this part. Pay particular attention to that opening, making sure that it's really nice and neat. Now we're going to top stitch all the way around. I like to start just before the opening, so I'm sewing that closed first, and as you can see it looks really nice and neat once it's finished. Fold your tea bag holder in half, and then you can use the iron again just to set that crease down the spine for one last time. Again, give it a blast of steam. And then you're ready to have a look and see where you're going to position your button. Now, if you pull your elastic band round, give it a little bit of a tug, but not too much. You can kind of work out roughly where you're going to want your button to go. Now, when you do sew your button on, be really careful. You want to make sure that you put your fingers right inside that top pocket so that you're only stitching through your main fabric and you're not stitching through any of the pockets. Otherwise, you're going to find it impossible to pop a tea bag in. Stitch your button in place. Now, I'm not very good at stitching buttons, but I had a little go here. And then snip off your ends and you are good to go. Now, when you put the band around for the first time, it will seem a little bit loose. That's fine. Remember that you're going to be putting tea bags in here, so you're going to fill the bulk. Pop your bags in, and once they're in, you can then do it up and admire your finished work. I like to find tea bags that are in packets to match my covers, as you can see. And ta-da! There you have it, a finished tea bag holder. I do hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do subscribe to my channel. I'd really like you to visit every week. We put new tutorials up every fortnight and there's lots of interesting stuff in between. So we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!